to our channel. So students, in this video we will discuss the explanation of business economics of unit number 3. Previously I have already uploaded the unit number 1 and unit number 2 explanation. If you want means please watch that video. In this video we will discuss the complete concept of unit number 3 which you are having in your syllabus of business economics. Okay, the first one, what the question I have given ma, law of supply. Okay, so this is the most important question. What is law of supply? What are its assumptions, exceptions, everything they are asking. Okay, what is supply is nothing but the different quantities of product, which a consumer is willing to sell at various prices in a market, that is called supply of a product. In other thing, the amount of quantity which a producer is willing to sell to the given price at a given particular period of time. For example, a price is for example a product price is 10 rupees. How much is the seller is asking, a seller is willing to sell that product to the customer is law of supply. What is this law of supply? How you need to remember this law of supply? Means simple thing ma, when price increases, supply also increases. When a price decreases, supply also decreases. Same like in previous unit 2 we have discussed about the Veblen goods. No, when you are increasing price your product, when you are increasing your price of your product, automatically the supply will also increase. That is the stuff I have wrote all these things in here. See, the law of supply means it deals with the functional relationship between supply and commodity. When increase in price, the quantity supply also increases. When decrease in price, it will also decrease in supply also. Means when price increases, supply also increases. When price decreases, supply also decreases. Okay, the supply of a product increases when price increases and decreases. That is the thing. Okay, when other things, other determinants what we are having, that is the thing we are having the constant nature. But when you are increasing your price, automatically the supply will also increase it. Okay, so that is the thing, that is the statement of law of supply. Okay, next what are the factors, and determinants we are having this law of supply? Means this you need to remember ma, the formula of your law of supply. What is means Sx, supply of x is equal to f of px, pf, py, pz, ot, pes, different things you are having. Means this is the thing we will call it as a determinants. Okay, when your determinants is changing, automatically your supply will also change. When your supply increases, demand also increases, price also increases. When price decreases, supply also decreases because of its determinants. What is Sx is nothing but supply of good of x. Supply of good x. Px is nothing but price. Pf, Py is nothing but what are the price of other goods. For example, if you are purchasing any type of brand, any type of biscuits. For example, you are buying a marigold. Okay, what is the price of the other biscuits in the market, like PALLELA and any type of thing? So that is the commodity of the another product. Okay, that is called Pf or Py. Pz is nothing but what are the factors of production are there. P is nothing but objectives of producer. T is technology and S is state of technology. These are the determinants of the factors of product supply ma. Next, what is the statement of law? You need to remember what I have said. When price is more, quantity supply is also more. When the price is 8, suppliers is 80. When price is 7, supplier is 7. When price is decreasing, automatically supply is also decreasing. When price is increasing it from 4 to 8, you are increasing, no, automatically customers is also increasing from 40 to 80. Means always a law of demand will slopes from left to right, upwards direction. So in law of demand it will slopes like this, no. In law of supply it will slopes from left to right, upwards direction. Law of supply always goes to the upward direction only. So that is the table and graph. First introduction, formula, statement of law of supply, table and this graph is enough. After making this table and graph, you need to explain about the table. When price is 80, the supplier is 80. When price is 60, the supplier is 60. Always the demand curve slopes upwards from left to right. Like that you need to elaborate your answer. What are the exceptions? Exceptions is nothing but in what circumstances this law will never work out. The first one we are having it is expected. See, clearly you see, it is expected when there is a decrease in price, then seller will sell more at present, right? See, if it is increase in price, the seller will sell less in the product stores. What they are saying is nothing but here, for example, the price of a product is decreasing from tomorrow onwards. What seller will willing to do? It will he will to sell more products today only, because today if he are selling means he will get 100 rupees. If tomorrow if he is selling that product means he will get only 80 rupees. What he will to do? He will tell, he will willing to do more number of sales today itself. In that circumstances, this law will never work out. Second one is, if the level of technology changes. Technology changes means consumer taste and preference is changing, means we can't do this law of supply. Next, any change in weather, national and international, also any disturbances we are occurring like coronavirus and any type of wars, at that time the supply were also very down, the prices were increasing, everything like that, no? In that case also this law will never work out. Okay. Second, and the fourth one is wages of a labor. What is it? That means if you goes on increasing your labor wages, automatically he or she will neglect their work, right? Means when you increase your wages means, for example, previously you have keeping only 10,000 to giving to your maid, and after that you are increased her salary to 20,000. When you have increased her salary, the performance of that maid is less compared to the previous one. Okay. So మనకి అంటే లైక్ ఇప్పుడు పనిచేసే వాళ్ళకి ఎక్కువ పట్టుకు మనం ప్రిఫరెన్స్ ఇచ్చి టైం తీసుకో, ఖాళీగా ఉండు, శాలరీ ఇస్తే వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తారంటే పని చేయకుండా ఉంటారు అనమాట, బద్ధకం ఎక్కువైపోతుంది. సో దట్ టైమ్ this law will never work out. Okay. What are the assumptions is nothing but rules. What are the rules you need to follow? Cost of the production should be same, and there should be no change in the techniques of the production. You should not change any techniques, or you should not change any strategies. There should be no speculation. Speculation is nothing but just now we have discussed, no? రేపు ప్రైస్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుందో, రేపు ప్రైస్ డిక్రీజ్ అవుతుందో అని చెప్పేసి ఈరోజు ఎక్కువ కొనుక్కోవడం, ఈరోజు తక్కువ కొనుక్కోవడం చేయడం. Okay. In that type of also this law will never work out. Okay. And the next question we are having indifference curve analysis. What are the properties of indifference curve? What is this indifference curve? Is nothing but indifference curve is also known as locus of point. What is this called? Is locus of point, representing combination of two substitute goods which yields same level of satisfaction. Means when you are using two substitutes, when your commodity, when you are using two substitutes to fulfill your satisfaction, that is called indifference curve analysis. For example, if you consume one apple, you will get 100 level of satisfaction. If you consume two bananas, you will get 100 level of satisfaction. Means one apple is equal to two bananas. It depends on the person to person, no? Like that, when you are substituting your commodities, which you will get the same level of satisfaction, that is called indifference curve analysis. Okay. So that is the thing, it is there in this first paragraph, which yield the same level of satisfaction, that is called indifference curve analysis. Okay. So here, which such combination are pointed graphically, the result curve is called as the indifference curve. Indifference curve always slopes in a convex state. Okay. So assumptions is nothing but rules. What are the rules you need to follow? The consumer should be rational. Rational is nothing but he or she should be expect more satisfaction. He or she should must, and should he must or she must should expect satisfaction, that is called rationality also we can. There are two goods we should have, X good and Y good. With the help of one good we cannot perform this indifference curve. And the thing is, the price of the goods and the market demand, whatever you are having, it should be same. The consumer taste preference should be also same. Everything, whatever the assumptions we have already learned in the previous two chapters, no, so that assumptions also you can make a list over here. Okay, so that is the assumptions. See here example, combinations. A person is there, B person is there, C person is there, D is there, E is there. X is for example apple, Y is banana, you think. Okay, if a person is consuming one apple, he will get 100 a Z level of satisfaction, for example 100 level of satisfaction. If he eat 15 bananas, he will get 100 level. Means one banana is equal to 15, sorry, one apple is equal to 15 bananas. That is the person of A. What is the B is thinking? If he eat 2 apples, he will get the same satisfaction. If he is eating level bananas, he is getting the same apples. Means 2 apples is equal to level bananas. Like that, substitution of the commodities to get the same level of satisfaction is called indifference curve analysis. How it will be indifference curve analysis? It will always be like this. See what we have already plotted this on the diagram, no? So this is the indifference curve analysis we are having. And what are the properties? What are the properties we are having, ma? The first one is higher level of indifference curve represents higher level of satisfaction. Means higher level of indifference curve. When you increase your indifference curve, it will give satisfaction of the more level of satisfaction you will get. How you will get more level? See here, indifference curve 1 is giving more satisfaction than indifference curve 2. Means the topmost one give the most satisfaction. IC3 curve is higher than IC2 and IC1. IC2 indifference curve 2 is higher than IC1. Like that, when you increase your indifference curve, automatically your satisfaction also increase. When higher in increasing, higher in the satisfaction. That is the first property you are having, ma. Second is indifference curve always slopes downwards. It always slopes downwards from left to right, like this. Okay, so this is called indifference curve. In a C shape it will be, means it is nothing but always slopes downwards from left to right. That is the graphical representation. Indifference curve cannot intersect. It should not intersect. Okay, commodity X and commodity Y, means 2 indifference curve, 3 indifference curve we are having, means it should not intersect like this. Okay, so that is the diagrammatic representation compulsory. Fourth one is indifference curve are always convex to origin. It is always convex to origin. How it will always convex to origin is nothing but it should be always in a C shape. C shape I have said, no, this is convex, this is concave. It should not be in a reverse C. It should always be a C. That is called convex to the nature. Fifth one you are having, it should not touch any horizontal or vertical lines. Means the indifference curve always should float on the middle of the graph. It should not touch on x-axis. It should not touch on y-axis. That is the thing, fifth point. Sixth point is, indifference curve always substitute and complementary. So these are the 6 properties we are having of the indifference curve. And third one you can look after this also, that is consumer surplus theory. What is this consumer surplus theory is nothing but how a consumer is willing to keep his income for the satisfaction of his consuming. Okay, according to the Marshall, the consumer surplus are excess of the price, means how much he is willing to pay rather than without the thing over that. Okay, see here consumer surplus is the simple thing, ma. What is that? Means TU is equal TU minus P of Q. P into Q, means TU is nothing but total utility, P is price, Q is quantity. Means if a person is having 100 rupees, he is willing to pay only 80 rupees for that product. Okay, if the product is 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees, he is willing to pay only 80 rupees for that product. That is called consumer surplus theory. Consumer surplus theory is nothing but the excess of price which a person would be willing to pay rather than to go without the things over that. Means how much he is willing to pay, that is important. So this is the answer. Not important much for the 4 marks, it is important. You can make a look after this also. Anyway, I have shared this PDF in the Telegram group. So this is the diagrammatic representation of consumer surplus. If you're having any doubts, let me know in the comment section. That 2 questions, law of supply and indifference curve, out of that 2 we can expect 1 question definitely. Okay, so all the very best for your preparation. Let me know in the comment section if you're having any doubts. See you in the next video. Bye bye everyone.